4 days, 3 nights. Go to KXNO.com to sign up and have a chance to experience Circa with KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
And we hope to see you soon at Circa.
Live from the TNT Landscaping and Nursery Studios, you're listening to 106.3 KXNO.
All right, good afternoon. Welcome, Miller and Condon, on a Monday, the first day of June. Trent Condon, Ken Miller, talking sports with you over the next couple of hours. Thanks for starting your afternoon here with us. Here's what's coming up on our program, busy program. We're going to talk to Scott Dochterman from The Athletic coming up. A lot of topics with Doc, most of them surrounding schedules and power conferences, etc. Today, we will find out the college football playoff schedule is going to be announced as times, etc. Who's going to lead things off? That's coming up here at some point during the next 4 or 5 hours. But Doc will be here in 25 minutes to opine on a number of topics. And then Bill Seals on Iowa State. Coach Rogers, Jimmy Rogers, the football program, had a big weekend, got a couple of signees, offensive tackle and a safety. So we'll talk to Bill Seals about a number of Iowa State issues. Milan Momcilovic still has not played his cards, right? Have you seen that where he's going to school? No. I have not.
No, it's Kentucky, though.
I keep thinking that's it, but what's he waiting for?
More money.
More money.
Yeah, might as well.
So is it a bidding war?
I don't even know if it's a bidding war.
Huh.
Kentucky's got to pay him.
They have to. They can't miss here. So we're still waiting on him. But Bill Seals on Iowa State coming up at 12:45. Then Matt Snyder covers baseball, Major League Baseball. Always look forward to our conversations with Matt Snyder. He'll join us at 1:02. And at the bottom of the hour, I'm going to preview the Stanley Cup Final with our friend Joe O'Donnell, the radio voice of the Minnesota Wild. It's the Hurricanes, it's the Golden Knights, and that's starting tomorrow night. But since I'm off tomorrow, I wanted to slide Joe O in today. We are now set for the NBA championship as the Spurs are going to take on the Knicks. I think TV's got to be pretty happy about this one, Trent. I really do. They maybe at some point, the face to be of the league, maybe sooner rather than later, Wembanyama, against the New York market, the New York Knicks, and that New York market that comes with us. They got to be ecstatic.
The casual Victor Wembanyama is a guy that you have to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to something over the weekend and relaying his rookie year, and he has never seen somebody covered NBA for years, had never seen during the layup line the other team just gawking
really
at him.
Yeah.
Because it's different.
Yeah. You know what? Can I stop just to tell a quick story? That story just reminded me of going to spring training and watching the Dodgers at Dodgertown stop and watch Mark McGwire.
Oh, really?
When McGwire was McGwire.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the Androstrin Dayon days.
Yes, late 90s.
The late 90s. Watching him and guys coming out of the clubhouse.
Oh, really?
And standing on the dugout steps to watch him. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
anyways. It's another perfect point that you have these once in a generation kind of people, and you just start to watch him go through a layup line because
of all things,
of how this guy looks. He's just so different.
Yeah.
And we go to Saturday night. And what a night that was.
It was really good, wasn't it? It was a fun game, and it was a good game. It was competitive. You know, you knew in the fourth quarter midway through was probably going to be decided, but you held out a little bit of hope that the defending champs had one more, run in them. It didn't in the end, but and Wemby breaking down in tears afterwards after winning the Western Conference Final. Look, it's these two teams. We haven't seen the last of them by any means. I'm kind of anxious. Not that I'm the biggest NBA guy out there, in particular when it comes to the offseason. But what are they going to do? I mean, how would Giannis look in a Thunder suit?
Well, and the NBA, I rate it playoffs 1, offseason entry 2, regular season 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's been relegated to. But it's honestly, and I probably would put Commissioner's Cup now, maybe just ahead of.
Where would you put the draft if that has a local tie?
Oh, above the regular
season. I agree.
Definitely.
With you. Yeah.
And probably above the Commissioner's Cup because that's also a part of the regular season.
Yeah, you're into that.
So we're into the 5. So we got.
Now, would you be into it if you couldn't bet it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the off-season stuff is
Yeah, I'm with
really
you.
the storylines, the extras that go along with it. It's more than just sport.
Mm-hmm.
There is the extra that goes into it, and the guys demanding trades, and where are they going to go, and the destinations, and stars just move in a different
picks
way.
that move.
It's so different than football.
It truly is.
It's a lot different, even than baseball. Though we have free agents, obviously. Just seeing the stars and the movement and everything that goes along with it, and it feels like there's extra drama that's always attached to it too. Playoffs 1.
Yep.
Off-season 2. Have an 82-game regular season, and that's what it's relocated for.
Yep.
A couple of casual NBA fans, but still.
The one thing they had going for them, Christmas Day, it's been taken away from them. King football, flex their muscle.
Yeah, NFL, they'll just leave us alone.
Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
Claiming New Year, Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving Eve and every opportunity they can. That's what I'm anxious to see. I'm anxious to see what the college football playoff does against those Saturdays when the NBA is going to move to Saturdays, because as we know they do. And, well, we'll see where it goes. We'll find out at some point today. But the matchup's going to be good. Here's the thing. Wemby's 22. Do I have this right?
Mm-hmm.
Wemby's 22, Castle's 21, and Harper's 20. No. Yeah, and Harper's 20. Harper 20, Castle 21, Wemby 22. Think they're going anywhere?
Nope.
Oh, my God.
And
what a team.
You see De'Aaron Fox, who's still only 28. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I would have thought he was like 30.
Yeah, he feels like he's been a part of our life for a really, well, he has, because he left early out of Kentucky. But what do you do there? He looked much healthier in Game 7, and that goes a long ways. But and he's got a matchup in front of him, obviously, in this next series that we'll be talking about. But the makeup of the team to go into OKC to give us Game 1 and Game 7 in the fashion that they did, they weren't scared. They weren't nervous about the moment.
You're right. Game 1 on the road, Game 7 on the road.
There was a guy that was nervous for the moment.
For the Spurs?
No. Yours number 7. He plays for OKC.
Oh my God, that's brutal, isn't it? What are they going to do here? I mean, Holmgren was an absolute no-show through this entire Western Conference final. He had one decent game.
Yeah.
One. He looks timid.
Just matchup-wise, he doesn't work. Now, is there a matchup that works against Wemby? Probably not.
But if there was one, you would have to think the guy that's 7'1" has the best chance.
This is maybe the most baffling thing. After Game 1, where Chet Holmgren, he's not a traditional setter back to the basket. No.
Right.
He's also not great. He's not like Wemby off the bounce. He's a 7'1" guy. Even athletic ones that can move better than traditional.
Yeah, because Wemby grew up with the ball in his hand before the growth spurt.
He's just different. And Chet Holmgren is more of our traditional now stretch 5, right? After he hit 2 3-pointers in Game 1, he went 0 for 2, 1 for 2, 0 for 1, 0 for 1, 0 for 1, 0 for 0 from behind the arc. Isn't that the thing? Isn't that the game plan that you want? Take Wemby away from the rim because he contests everything. He's all over the place. I'm just looking back upon it, not just Game 7, which everybody's knocking him as they should be. He was scared. He couldn't catch the ball.
But that's not the first time it came up in the series.
But just
the criticism,
gameplay wise, when you look through that, and a guy that's a good 3-point shooter, and to not bring Wemby away, that's one Dagnall, I think, got an answer to that too.
Yeah.
What we are doing schematically there, because that doesn't make a lick of sense looking back.
And they've got how many first-round picks? 2
this year. Yeah.
So you couple those two, I'm not sure. I'm just trying to get Giannis there.
Yes,
because he's going somewhere, right? And I think that would be really good, because it sure seems like these two teams are going to see each other in the years to come. We will see the Knicks. We will see the Spurs. It starts on Wednesday night. Do you have a lean? I mean, I'm surprised the Spurs are seemingly as overwhelming of a favorite as many people think, and deservedly so, I guess. But I'm not sure it was to the level that I thought it would be. I can't find anybody taking the Knicks.
I can't either. The price has ticked down, though.
It was $2. What is it now?
I looked last night. It was plus 170.
Oh, that's better.
Yes. I think it was like minus 200 plus 170 was the take back on that one. That I can at least wrap my mind around. But I'll be honest. Again, I don't make lines. We have fun with the kind of casino.
Sure.
I don't have any liability, thank God, at anything with futures and things like that. If we just took everything away and we just started with this playoff and what we've seen from the Knicks and what we've seen from the Spurs, wouldn't you make this more Spurs minus 130, Knicks plus 150. That seems like a more representative price to me. Even tighter than that. I heard Zach Lowe, who's been covering the NBA forever. Now he's not a bettor either. He basically said like minus 120.
Did he?
And he doesn't know betting lines,
Right.
but he sees it as a complete coin flip. And
I kind of do too.
the price says I have a Spurs ticket that I took to hedge my Thunder over Knicks that I had, but I want to take some Knicks. I want to take some, and I'd be able to hedge and at least make a profit out of it. But I want to take a little Knicks here because I think they're live, and at that price, I think it's a no doubter.
Who do you like in game one? Do you, because of the layoff, do you take the Knicks just because of the 7-game series? Oh, Spurs played a lot of basketball.
They did. They also get 3 days though. If it was
That's
a tighter
true,
turnaround,
right? If it was a Tuesday night or coming out tonight and tipping the ball off,
and they're back at home too. I think that helps a little bit.
Yeah, New York's got travel.
You got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yep.
I think because of that,
And
if it was
4.5, 5, I think is what I saw this morning.
If the turnaround was quicker, I would love the Knicks. I do like the Knicks though. I know I'll have the points in game one. I definitely do know that part of it. But yeah, this series price, and we talked about it last week, just when it was out there. I think it was before game 6, and it was like minus. Well, you get the Knicks at plus 250 and plus 230.
Yeah.
Thunder 250 and 230 against the Spurs, and that one felt way off. But even at 170, I think it's too much. I think this is going to be an excellent
long series then?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I hope you're right. Hope you're right. Give me 6, give me 7, ideally. But we shall see, and it all starts on Wednesday night. The puck drops in game 1 of the NHL, and I have no idea on Tuesday night who I like.
You don't?
Really don't.
How about just series overall?
That's what I mean. I have no idea.
Okay.
I
Not just game 1, but just overall.
I didn't. I bet the Hurricanes every year, except this year.
Oh, really?
I got a couple of tickets, but way late in the game.
Not the prices you could have had at different
not before
points.
the season. I just think that they're not built for the playoffs, and here they are. They haven't had the toughest of paths, let's be honest,
right?
To get to where they're at. Ottawa, Montreal, and Philly sandwiched in between them. Vegas. I mean, when you sweep the Colorado Avalanche the way that they did, that gets your full attention. And I know that McCarr was hurt, and obviously McKinnon was hurt as well, but they're just playing so damn well since Tortorella took over behind the bench. I'm anxious to see who Joe O'Donnell likes today.
The story of him coming back, last 8 games?
6, I think.
6 games of the regular season.
Yeah.
And I just heard it in passing one night during the broadcast. He was just hanging out with his grandkids. Is that what he was doing?
Yes, he was, yeah. And it was sitting with his wife. Obviously the cell phone rang, caller ID, showed his wife. Should I answer it? She said, of course I answer it. and here he is in the Stanley Cup Final. For his first final, he was the coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning when Aaron Andrews, I think, was the rinkside reporter.
Okay.
2004, maybe?
Yeah, I remember them talking about that too, and being in Tampa at that time.
Yeah.
Successful guy.
Yes.
Who was the coach previous?
Bruce Cassidy.
So,
who was the coach at Boston?
What was the reason of the firing?
He was too hard on the players.
Okay.
But Tortorella's a disciplinarian.
Just maybe a different voice.
Maybe that's all it was.
As simple as that.
And I think that's the difference. I think that's the reason they're here. We'll see where it goes.
So the betting favorites in terms of games, there are 3: Hurricanes in 6.
Okay.
Hurricanes in 5, Hurricanes in 7.
Really?
5, 6, 7. Those are all plus 430 currently at Circa. You can get the Knights in 6, where it would be game 6 in Vegas.
Game 6 would
Do
be
they go
Vegas.
2-2, 1-1-1?
1-1-1. Yep.
The way it should be. Thank God.
Yep.
That is the next choice at plus 550. Knights in 7 plus 655. Hurricanes sweep 9-1. Knights in 5 10-1. And a Knights sweep. They go back-to-back sweeps, 17-1.
And it was 29-1 to sweep the Avs, I think.
I believe you're right.
I think that's what it was. So if you are betting, if you do have to bet on a team to win the cup, don't you almost have to take a couple of win it in 5 or win it in 6?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know obviously one of your tickets is going to lose,
right?
But at that price, it would be better than betting the series price.
I was kind of hopeful. There was one before I opened this up to look that jumped into my mind because Carolina's just been so good.
Yeah.
In Vegas, I don't want to say it was fluky, but
not when you sweep the Avs.
But an injured Avs. And you're up down 3-0, you come back and win a game. Like, how often does that happen in a playoff?
Yeah.
Hurricanes in 5 jumped to my mind. And I thought
in
maybe
5.
Yeah, and maybe
you're killing me.
and maybe I was just thinking that I was going to get a better price with it. But then when I see it's the same 5, 6, or 7, I jump off that one. And
So you like Carolina? You're going to probably bet
I do.
Carolina?
Yeah, I like Carolina.
What I don't like is the fact that, and I like Sean McDonough and I like Ray Ferraro,
Mhm.
but the pregame, the intermission is just so much better on TNT.
Yeah.
With Gretzky and Biz and Liam and whoever's in the other chairs, Chelios or Lundqvist or Ace. Anyways, can't have everything. Cubs cards from over the weekend. What did you learn?
Oof.
A, that Dansby Swanson is washed, at least with the bat in his hand. Although he's not the defender he wants, but he's still really good.
He's still really good, yes. It was a fun series. I mean, PCA.
It was. PCA on Saturday night was fun.
The home run was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just crushed.
yes,
And where
absolutely.
it landed,
The catch,
was to end the game was amazing. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
Maybe even better than the hardest hit ball of his career.
Which
That
was
catch, how much
tattooed.
ground that he
Oh.
covered on that one.
Yep.
But they're just okay.
Yeah.
It's
It's the Brewers division, man. I'm telling you.
is Mizorowski going to be able to stay healthy?
That's a major, major question. Is Jordan Wicks on the next plane back to Des Moines? That's my question. Him at the ERA of 50. He probably already here. I hope he is. Meet his teammates back in Des Moines before they take on Toledo. By the way, if you are a baseball fan, and they can't advertise this, I'm talking about the iCubs, because it's not set in stone, but it feels like it's pretty set in stone. Justin Verlander is going to pitch in Des Moines tomorrow night.
Yeah, right.
And potentially, now this is from Mike Mahon. This is not from, and Mike is a good guy, B, a knowledgeable guy, and C, a massive Tigers fan. And he thinks there's an outside chance that Scoople is here this weekend.
Really?
On a rehab assignment.
He's getting that close, huh?
That's what Mahon said. He tweeted it out.
Well, that would be music to my fantasy team's ears because
And baseball fans, if you get Justin Verlander and Tiger Scooble on the same weekend, same 5 days, 6 days, whatever it would be, how good is that?
That is excellent. Yeah, I'm looking at Scooble here. Another simulated game today, so that will tell us a lot. He's scheduled in Tampa. They're down there that he's going to throw another simulated game today. He tossed 39 pitches over 2 2/3 in a simulated game Tuesday.
So if it goes well, today's Monday, probably Saturday or Sunday, more likely.
One of the two.
One of the two. Wouldn't that be something? Verlander, who's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Anyway, you cut it.
Yep.
And I think Scooble is trending that way. I don't think he's there yet.
No.
But he certainly, his arrow is headed in that direction. We'll see where it goes. But boy, would that ever be a treat for Des Moines baseball fans to get those two dudes. And you're going to get Verlander tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm convinced.
You're convinced?
Yeah, it sounds like that's fait accompli. All right. We will talk to Scott Dochterman on the other side. Look forward to catching up with Doc. All of the scheduling information, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, just real quick, Sorsby is toast. And I feel like I am embarrassed for the Texas Tech president and for Joey McGuire. I mean, I get why they came out in his defense and are trying to make a case for him, but it seemed like the NCAA was just waiting for that.
Yeah.
Because they played the cards, man. And they had, quote, as the kids say, the receipts. And when they came up with all the bets that he made, and not only that, he's transferring money to his friends so his friends can make bets on his behalf. A, you're in a state where you know it's illegal. B, you're trying to cover your tracks for the NCAA. So, yes, you've got a problem, but you know what? You're not going to play football again in college.
So one thing that I brought up quite often in that initial report that came out from ESPN, and I think it was Pete Thamel. I think it was his report. It was stated in there that he had not placed bets. He had said that he had not placed bets since he moved to Texas Tech.
Right.
And that was the part that drove me absolutely crazy. Because if you actually have an addiction, you just quit cold turkey.
Well, he actually did bet when he was at
Exactly.
Texas Tech.
So now you got that component.
He transferred $5,000 to a buddy of his so he could bet the NBA, Major League Baseball, and golf.
This from Trey Wallace, who works for Fox. Sorsby transferred at least $60,000 to friends to place on bets. At least 2,900 bets were placed while at Indiana for more than $30,000.
So that's more than one or two.
From September to October of 2022, he placed 40 bets on Indiana football, totaling at least $850. From October to November,
So he's betting on his team.
he placed 50 bets on Indiana basketball, totaling more than $1,400. September to December of 2023, a year later, 300 bets on college football, totaling $6,500. That's
Cooked. So can I go back to when he was placing bets on Indiana football?
Uh-huh.
Does it say whether he was betting on them to win or lose?
there was a couple of props, and I apologize. I read it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where. I don't have it bookmarked.
Mm-hmm.
I did read that there was 2 unders. One of them was a passing yardage under. Obviously not on him.
Right. He wasn't playing.
He wasn't playing.
Yeah.
But that one, that has to be an automatic disqualifier, doesn't
Well, I
it?
think you bet on your team
All
either
of
way.
this is.
Yeah.
All of this is.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I am still baffled. I understand he was the big ticket item of the offseason.
Yeah.
And it's Texas
And
Tech,
now they're screwed.
who people hate. And people hate Texas Tech softball.
Yeah.
And we've seen that again this
Yeah, we
weekend.
did.
Oh my God. That place, Lubbock, they're becoming part of the
They are.
spotlight. They're becoming
They are becoming the Big 12's biggest rival, regardless of what school you go
Yes,
to or root
right.
for.
Yeah, we're looking for Iowa State's rivals. There it is.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants Texas Tech to
Everybody
be a
wants-
rival.
Yep.
Everybody dislikes Texas Tech and what they're doing, not just in football.
Perhaps it's the fact that they reside in part in the state of Texas.
That's also a component too. Absolutely. They're going to buy themselves into blue blood status one way or the other. They're certainly trying to
they're
make
trying.
that happen. It was, an under, I think a game under, but then the passing yard. I got to see if I can find where that came from, because that was one you talk about sirens going off.
Mm-hmm.
You're betting on a teammate to go under their
Yeah.
passing yards.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, what do you know? You got a shoulder problem? You got
Uh-huh.
a little inside info?
Yep.
Miller and Condon, Scott Dochterman next. It's the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
Get in on the action with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Iowa is where the pros play. Enjoy the highest limits, lowest takeouts, and competitive betting menus. Download fun. Sports betting the way it should be. Download your new bookie today. Visit circasports.com. Must be over 21 and present in Iowa to bet. Have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
It happens only once a year in Las Vegas.
Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
Is back. One stage, 2 nights.
Are you ready? Featuring the biggest names in music. Live, loud, and always full of surprises.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Hear it live on iHeartRadio and streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Listen for the reveal of our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Tomorrow morning at 7.
And we made it down to the final 2 and a lot of intrigue in this NBA Finals. DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Iowa. 2 teams left, 1 trophy. Every possession, every fourth quarter swing, every clutch shot. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in Iowa. So whether you're catching tip-off at home or Game 7 at the bar, you're in on every minute, every game, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Iowa, the finals are in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code KXNO, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards guaranteed. That's code KXNO. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF. 21 plus. Iowa only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Urology Center of Iowa offers a full suite of men's health services, from low testosterone to managing the effects of aging. UCI is the place to go when you want to be seen like a man, not like a patient. Schedule an appointment with UCI today at iowauro.com.
Are you looking to upgrade your curb appeal? TNT Landscaping and Nursery is your trusted partner of more than 35 years in Ankeny and the Metro for all your landscaping needs. Browse 5 full acres of trees, plants, and shrubs, their huge nursery selection, and all the landscaping hard goods to get the project done. Hawkeyes Barbecue, also there, and it's a griller's paradise. Visit TNTlandscaping.com for details, or stop in at 1313 Southwest Ordnance Road in Ankeny. Tell them Heather sent you in.
I need a little range, step to the range, come on, meet me at the Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Ken and Trent are back in 60 seconds, right here on 106.3 KXNO.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Yacht Rock Radio on iHeartRadio drops anchor and goes commercial-free every weekend. Weekends were made for smooth sailing. Yacht Rock Radio's got the soundtrack. Just sit back, put your feet up, and enjoy. The smoothest soft rock from the 70s and 80s. Open the free iHeart app, search Yacht Rock, and set sail.
iHeartRadio.
You're listening to Miller and Condon. You can't see it. Wide open. On 106.3 KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
Hi, Miller and Condon. Welcome back. Just past 12:25. Take you until 2 o'clock. Scott Dochterman from The Athletic momentarily. Just real quick, massive trade. The NFL, a couple of defensive stars. Jared Verse leaves the Rams, poor bastard, to the Browns. Can you imagine from Super Bowl to contender to team is 300-1? Myles Garrett going to the Rams. How big is that trade? That reverberates across the NFL.
A little tread still left on that tire, too.
I think so. Versus a hell of a player. A
Yes,
hell of
yeah.
a player. Hello, Scott Dochterman, Trent and Ken. How are you, sir?
You know what? I was not online when so I just learned from you about Myles Garrett. Unbelievable. What a trade.
No, I'll say that was a massive, massive trade. Hey, Doc, another thing percolating. I do want to talk about college football scheduling, et cetera, and what the 24 team. You wrote a really good piece, a lengthy piece. You're such a good long-form writer at The Athletic today on what lies ahead potentially for the playoff and some of the pushback that it's coming. But just the Sorsby thing, I mean, when you bet on your team, and we lived it, right? And we didn't live it. We lived it as reporters or talk show hosts during the whole Iowa deal. But he doesn't have a leg to stand on, does he, Scott?
He shouldn't. And this is where you wish that the NCAA had more teeth. I mean, because now, granted, they are not going to give him eligibility unless they absolutely have to. So this isn't. I've seen a lot of Iowa fans more, and Iowa State fans too, that are very upset that there's even this possibility, considering what they all had to deal with, and So I just don't think that. I mean, that is a cardinal sin, and any sport, in Major League Baseball. I mean, we've seen, the greatest, the guy with the most hits can't get in the Hall of Fame and never reinstated because of that one thing.
Yep.
And I think there's room if it was an accident, if it's an oops, but when you see the amount, you just can't overlook that. And even a court of law, even if you're a Texas Tech fan or graduate or booster or whatever, you cannot overlook that. It's just, to me, it's you just can't. And if you do, then you open yourself up.
Yep.
You're basically, any rules you have, they go away.
We go back to last week. Cy-Hawk announced, as you hinted at with us, that it's going to be a night kickoff, and proven to be correct. I know you had that beforehand, Doc, but you couldn't come out and don't want to get your hand slapped by the TV networks of the Big Ten. But across the board, streaming games kicking off at weird times. It's just, you're so good at the television aspect and the sources that you have and understanding the process that it is and the way that it's likely going to look coming up throughout the course of the season. Just how different it is and how much different can it continue to be? Or is this going to be the norm where that non-conference game, normally 11 o'clock, those days are kind of halcyon days anymore? Just how different it's changed in the last 5 years for you.
It's massive. I mean, when it comes to like trying to project the Big Ten is next to an impossible situation. I mean, you used to be able to kind of say, okay, which are the, and this is, dating myself probably 15 years, but used to be able to say, okay, which are the 5 or 6 games that ABC is going to air in prime time? And then, okay, which ones will probably be 2:30 and the rest will be at 11? Well, I feel like every year I have to explain it to people that if the game's in prime time doesn't mean that it's the best game. It's just that's a time slot, and all of them are time slots. And now that there are streaming services that are involved, in the Big Ten's case, Peacock, and then there's the ESPN Plus and what have you, that it would not surprise. And there have been alterations to when these games are kicking off, and we've seen it with Iowa in the first couple of weeks on BTN and FS1, and I think that as the streaming services get involved, and they don't have, they're not beholden to a certain time, except unless there's contractually that this network has this time and this time alone, which they don't. Then I mean, you can put it on anytime you really want to, and I think that's in some ways that might be healthier for the schools, because when I think everybody agrees that 1 o'clock would be the ideal kickoff for every single game. It's early afternoon, gives everybody a chance to tailgate without getting up at 5 a.m, and then you get home at a reasonable time, usually from, if you're driving 4 hours. And I think, they pushed this into this 3-tiered window system that I think if the streaming services have anything to do with it, where you can overlap, there's a lot of bandwidth. I mean, I think it might be kind of fun if in the future that renders me useless as far as guessing which games are going on what networks. But I think it'd be kind of fun to see more times that are just different.
Yep, I'm with you. Scott Dochterman from The Athletic joining us. Doc, last week at the Big 12 meetings, Yormark kind of hinted out that the Big 12 was looking at a 10-game regular season. And Trent and I then picked up on that. I want to see if you'll go along with us here. When it comes to Cyhawk and the fact that the contract's over in 2027, that Iowa State may be the one that, not real enthusiastic about going forward with Iowa. I know that both schools understand the magnitude of the game when it comes to the state, but both schools also understand business principles and what's best for their program. If indeed it happens, the Big 12 going to 10 regular season games, might this maybe cause Pollard to tap the brakes when it comes to renewing Cyhawk?
Well, sure. I think you do need to position yourself in the best possible way for whether it's an expanded playoff or your bowl positioning, whatever is most important to your program. You need to position yourself in that way, and wins and losses are generally at the very top and how you schedule them. And most programs, I mean, right now, other than 4 programs, all of them in the Big Ten, all of them play 10 power conference opponents. Now, I think with Yormark, certainly the Big Ten has had these same type of discussions that haven't gotten anywhere recently. The positives are that you bring more inventory to your sources, to your media partners, and then they'll pay you more money. But I think there's a difference, unfortunately, between the Big Ten and Big 12 is that the Big Ten's inventory is deeper and contains more attractable teams at a larger perspective than, say, the Big 12. I mean, what would you get if you're Iowa State by playing an extra game against UCF or, even a decent program like, an Arizona or Arizona State? I mean, those are decent games, but but you don't have that flexibility, and then you lose the opportunity to play your in-state rival. I think that would be a very difficult scenario for Iowa State. And even so, I mean, even if Iowa and Iowa State couldn't come to an agreement and voided it for the future. I mean, I'd love to see the Cyclones maybe play once in a while against the Gophers, like up in the Twin Cities, go to the Vikings Stadium on Labor Day weekend or something. And I think that would be a great, little trip. And, there's only a couple hours between those schools, but I don't know. I don't think it benefits the Big 12 at all to do that. I think they'd be better off playing higher profile opponents from power conferences than they would, playing one more game against one another.
Doc, in your article today talking about the 2014 playoff helps save college football. One thing that I haven't heard brought up on a national scale very often, and I'm glad you did, was the parity component. And we saw at Miami, they were a 10 seed. Well, 2 years ago, what was it? Ohio State and Notre Dame was a 6 and a 9, something like that in the national championship game. We just had Indiana. Frickin' Indiana just won a national championship. Is this real parity? Is this the likely thing that it's not the old days where, there's only 2 or 3 teams that can really win a national championship, where that number is going to get deeper and deeper. And if we go to a 24-team playoff, maybe it even gets deeper than the 10 to 12 that can win it currently.
Absolutely. I mean, I say Notre Dame had every opportunity to win a national title.
Yes.
I think they were very, very good, and it was really unfortunate for them that they couldn't get into that tournament. But I think you can go deep, and I think there are teams that either struggled early, had a really tough schedule, maybe had an injury, and kind of fall back, and then have every opportunity to win. And I'm not saying Iowa. And if Iowa would have gotten, if it had been a 2014 playoff, Iowa would have gotten in last year. They would have played at Miami. Probably a tough matchup.
Yeah.
However, if matchups were skewed tweaked just a little bit, and they were playing Alabama instead. And by the way, I do think the CFP was tweaked to make sure Alabama stayed in the field despite losing the SEC championship. But let's say that they would have been on the road to Alabama, I think Iowa would have competed there. I'm not saying they would have won, but after watching them in the Rose Bowl, I think they would have been able to compete. And I think that's the case, that there is so much parity now with the transfer portal, with NIL, that players that once were stockpiled at kind of the blue bloods now are all over the place, and they grow at different times. And I think and the one thing I've really noticed in doing this exercise is they're kind of groups of teams. And I think 1 through 8 is usually in that category, is usually pretty strong. And there's maybe one left out team or, that deserves it. And that's about it. But when you start to get in the teams, they all look alike, and it's really hard to differentiate. And so if you go to 16 teams, it's just, you're flipping coins, you're drawing straws at some of these teams. And so I think this would provide more of an opportunity to get everybody in, and you're going to have great games on in the first weekend. I mean, Iowa State would have gotten in 3 times with a 2014 playoff. Iowa would have gotten in 6. There would only been 8 teams in the power conferences that wouldn't have got in, and Nebraska most prominently, Kansas being the only other one in the Big 12. And then Purdue was kind of on the border because it won a division. It wasn't ranked, but would it have gotten ranked? That remains to be seen. But Maryland and Rutgers also in the Big 10.
Fascinating stuff. Scott Dochterman from The Athletic joining us. Doc, when the NFL schedule, or when the college football playoff schedule comes out today, what are you going to be looking for? Is there a date that will clash with what the real estate, the television real estate, the NFL has taken? Do you know?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tough on them. Let's see, that weekend in December, the 19th, the 18th and 19th. Because, the 19th is that the Bears play at Buffalo on a Saturday night. And the CFP is always airing that Saturday night. In fact, I'm looking at the schedule right now. And this is an issue. And then earlier in the day, and this is what the NFL does. And I think they're not very good partners with anybody. No. Earlier in the day, it's Seattle at Philadelphia. Jeez. It's last 2 Super Bowl champions are playing on that Saturday against the college football playoff. They couldn't just schedule, like on Sunday, Cincinnati at Carolina, or somebody like that.
Yeah.
New Orleans at Tampa Bay. No, Indianapolis at Tennessee. No, let's put last 2 Super Bowl champions, and let's put one of the most marketable teams against one of the most marketable players. And that's what they run into. And that's why they're trying to figure out what scheduling in the future is. You got to go around the NFL. And, another area that I think is going to come up is, what to do with the Army-Navy game, when you have a playoff. And to me, I think a perfect time slot would be like either, noon Eastern or 3:30 Eastern on Black Friday for Army-Navy, and just let it roll separately. But the Big Ten, or the NFL won't let that happen. It's like, no, it's ours. They're like that good-looking buddy of yours that you hang out with, and you're in college, and you're in the bar, and you see somebody you're somewhat attracted to. You start talking to that person, and next thing you know, your good-looking buddy just interrupts, and because he can. That's what the NFL is when it comes to TV.
No doubt about it. Scott Dochterman from The Athletic. Doc, great piece today. What else you got coming out this week?
Well, I also wrote today. I talked to 6 different Big Ten basketball coaches and got their thoughts on things. Whether it's TV or it's scheduling, it's the 5-over-5, and so it came out together. I wrote them separately, but they decided to publish them both today. So talked at length with Ben McCollum, with Fred Hoiberg, and Dusty May, and a few others, and Greg Gard, and so that was kind of an interesting piece. And then I'm working on a bunch of kind of longer form, big picture stories, kind of Big Ten related, that'll be kind of sprinkling out through the summer, but I just got to figure out exactly what the layout will be on that.
Good stuff, Doc. Thank you, bud. Appreciate it. Talk to you next week if your schedule allows. Thank you, Scott Dochterman. Have a great week.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys.
Good to talk to you, Scott Dochterman, as we check in on a number of college football related topics. So Matthew Boyd is going to face Justin Verlander. Am I reading this right? In Des Moines tomorrow?
Well, I knew Boyd was getting close too.
Boyd returning.
Another guy on my IL, by the way, for fantasy.
No, Boyd's pitching. Oh, that was from yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Gosh darn it. All right, take time out. Well, Verlander is going to be here tomorrow. We're pretty sure of that.
Oh, yeah. 4 innings yesterday for Matthew Boyd. Yep.
We're also 100% convinced Bill Seals will join us next. Miller and Condon, Iowa Sports Radio Network.
That was so good! Start your day off right with the first quarter with Heather Burnside and Alec Bussey. Weekdays from 6 to 9 on 106.3 KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
I'm Michelle McPhee, and in my new podcast, Kingdom of Fraud, I'm unraveling the strangest criminal alliance I've ever reported on. A polygamist from Utah and an LA Armenian businessman.
$1 billion fraud.
But how long can this alliance last?
Is somebody coming after me?
Search Kingdom of Fraud on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
Hey, it's your old buddy TW from Tony Wink's Factory Outlet Fireworks in Winterset, your show building experts. Planning your fireworks show starts here at my store in Winterset, where you get the most boom for your buck. We know our product, and we'll help you build on a budget that gets the best show on the block. This Saturday, come out to our open house and demo shoot. You can see them before you buy them, and then save 30% on the entire store. This Saturday only at Tony Wink's Factory Outlet Fireworks in Winterset. I'm Tony Wink, and I got your boom boom.
When's the last time your mower got some love? Clive Power Equipment's mobile service comes to your driveway and handles it all. Oil change, spark plug, air and fuel filters, full deck clean, blade sharpening, and a complete inspection. Walk behinds, riding mowers, 0 turns, we do it all. Right where you park it. No hauling, no drop-offs. Just a mower that's ready to go. Book at ClivePowerEquipment.com or call 515-279-2296. Clive Power Equipment. We come to you.
My mission is improving lives, whether it's my team or my clients. And with so much turbulence in the world, can we really put a price tag on peace of mind? Your old buddy Brian here from Service Legends. And in my world, here's what peace of mind looks like to improve your life. So I pulled the data on our top-notch tune-ups from last year. 98.2% of the systems we maintained are still running like clockwork. I truly believe that's what homeowners like you really want. No breakdowns and getting the absolute most life out of your system. True peace of mind. I have so much confidence in my home comfort heroes and the job they do for Service Legends clients that I'm putting this ironclad 1-year guarantee on the line this summer. In the outside chance your AC does have a challenge after one of our top-notch tune-ups, I'm not only going to refund the cost of your tune-up, I will fix it for free. Look, not all AC tune-ups are created equal, and clearly not all guarantees are either.
Call 515-COMFORT. We fix it right or it's free.
friends.
This July 4th, come celebrate at America's Block Party, hosted by America 250. America's Block Party is a can't-miss 4th of July concert happening at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Experience music performances from major artists, patriotic tributes, and the kickoff to Giving Fourth, helping to make July 4th the largest day of giving in American history. It's more than just fireworks. Learn more about this landmark celebration at america250.org.
Voters are listening to the radio, and they're really listening. If you're running for office, radio gets your message heard, not scrolled past. Reach communities everywhere and be on the air in just 48 hours. Go to winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
For 25 years, 106.3 KXNO has been the heartbeat of Iowa sports. From Friday night lights to championship dreams, we've been there for every play. Here's to the fans, the teams, and the passion that keeps us going. 106.3 KXNO, Des Moines sports station for 25 years and counting. Ken Miller, Trent Condon, Miller and Condon on 106.3 KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
All right, Miller and Condon, welcome back. Iowa Sports Radio Network talks some Iowa State. Bill Seals covers them for Rivals on 3. CycloneReport.com is where you can read and find Bill Seals, and he joins us. Bill, Trent, and Ken, thanks for joining us on this Monday. I guess we'll start just if there is any news on Momcilovic. It's a new month. You would have thought that it would have happened already, that he was going to make his intentions known, but he's still apparently keeping everybody in the dark, although most believe that ultimately he will end up at Lexington at Kentucky. What are you hearing, Bill, if anything, any closer to Momcilovic making his decision known?
Well, to be honest with you, Kenny, I figured we would have had it by now. I figured we would have had it even by last week. So, all indications I'm still getting that it's probably going to be Kentucky. I think it's probably a bidding war right now between Kentucky and Louisville. St. John's, they got the Yesufu kid from Baylor last week. Kind of indications were they probably were out at that point on adding another big money guy. So I think it's still between those two teams. And again, I figured we would have gotten news by now, but I think you mentioned Lexington. I think that's probably going to be the location. Kentucky's in desperation mode. Mark Pope's in win now mode. He's on the hot seat, especially at a job like this. He's missed out on 14 transfer portal guys visited Kentucky, and he didn't get one of them. So, that just gives you the idea, the level of desperation and probably the dollar amount exceeding, what anybody thought it could be to what probably Kentucky's set to offer him.
And I was told that is 2 years for $14 million.
Going rate?
Yeah.
Nice chunk of change. Of course, that assumes
that he's going to get another year.
5-year thing.
Yep.
And that the grandfathering in of the current players. So I think still not to be settled, but yeah, that'd be 2 years, $14 million. And, he got out of the draft before the deadline. And, I don't think really he helps or hurts probably, unless God forsakes he gets hurt. Nobody wants to see that. But, I don't think he really hurts or helps his draft stock really between now and then either. I think he can come out in 1 year or 2 years. And he's probably right around where he is right now because, you look at these college kids, how much they're making. They're staying in college now. So Milan comes out in 2 years, probably still going to be the same situation where there's not a whole lot of early entries for him to compete against. So he's probably about the same spot here in another year or two.
Except he's older.
Right.
Yeah.
But he is what he is.
Yeah.
He's an elite shooter.
Yep.
And there's other parts of his game. And if he can do enough defensively and other things, he'll stick. And if not, he's got $15 million in the bank.
Good for him.
And then that's kind of everybody in the draft anymore. It seems like you've got your lottery guys that are your one and dones. That's always going to stay the same. But, there are a lot of older guys in the draft anymore. There's going to be international players. Who knows, what happens with that rule if the European pros can't come over here anymore, what happens there. But I think there's going to start to be a whole lot of older players in the draft outside of those lottery one and dones.
Well, Bill, as we turn our calendar to June, this is normally the time we get a bunch of official visits. You got all the different campus tours that are happening at this point. And right before the calendar flipped, pretty fruitful weekend overall for Iowa State football. Fill us in on the details of the newest commitments.
Yeah, they got 3 new additions over the weekend. Trent, Drew Agason, an offensive lineman, played some D-line too, but they're going to move him to O-line, probably an interior guy out of Goodrich, Michigan, 3-star. He was a guy I thought probably could have taken a few more visits. Michigan State had come in after Iowa State on him. He's a Michigan kid, but loved everything about his visit. And he wasn't even planning on committing either, but the visit was such a pivotal one for him that he decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on an offer. And Jordan Kreider, another one out of those, and Big Ten territory out there in Hamilton, Ohio, Middletown High School. He commits as well. He's kind of like a safety type of prospect. Jason Wooden, he's a one. He's listed as a wide receiver in his On3 profile, but I think a good job doing some homework here out of this new Iowa State staff. Pete Minage was in to see him, and they project him as a safety. They're going to try and plug him in as like a kind of that hybrid nickel type of guy, that versatile. They're going to that 4-3, or some instances could be a 4-2-5. Well, Wooden's going to kind of be that, that hybrid, that flex guy in and out of the lineup in situations. So I think a good job there. He could be a real gem, I think, in this class. I like what I see on film, and making the switch to defense, that could be huge for him. So those are the 3 commitments out of the weekend. Quite a bit of those guys, they were high profile guys, priorities, but they've got some visits coming up elsewhere after Iowa State. So we'll see how that plays out. I think in the coming weeks as those visits are taken. But I think they're off to a good start. Cade Newman was one, Ankeny Centennial tight end, and I think they made up some good ground with him. If I were to name a guy who's the next to commit, I would probably say him. Central DeWitt high schooler Ryan Paulson. He's listed as an edge. I could see him probably growing into like a strong side defensive, traditional, like a defensive end type player. He'll visit Illinois this weekend. I think it's between the Illini and the Cyclones there, but I think ISU made a nice impression this weekend. We'll see where that sits a week from now.
How many?
That's kind of the rundown. Lots of guys though in town for sure.
And so, how many does that class include now, Bill? The 27 class.
10.
Up to 10.
Wow. 10 known commitments right now. Yeah. We'll you'll see if that number builds. They're not hosting any guys this coming weekend. I think probably by design. A lot of the new. The 2026 kids are reporting over the last week or so. A lot of players reporting back. I think this is going to be a busy week. They got 2 camps, Tuesday, Thursday. So I think by design, no visits this upcoming weekend, and then they'll get back to it the weekend of the 12th and the 19th to get, I think, probably going to be a huge majority of this class done by the end of June.
Good stuff. Keep you posted at CycloneReport.com, part of Rivals/On3. Bill, thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it. You have a good rest of your week. Thank you, Bill Seals.
Thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon.
Yep, you do the same. Bill Seals. So we check in on Iowa State. Pretty big weekend, as you put it there, TC. Landon 3, now bringing the class, as Bill said, up to 10.
And really the big one when we go back about a little over a month ago is getting Will Slagle, the kid from Grinnell.
Yeah, to recommit.
Yeah. Everybody that I've talked to, just there's no such thing as can't miss.
Right. Yeah.
And certainly at offensive line, but people that have watched him play just talk about he had the bloodlines, obviously the family connection. Sure. With the coaching staff, you get a little nervous. No, he had a great relationship with Campbell.
Yep.
Getting him back in the fold, that's a big
Couldn't
win.
agree with you more. Absolutely. All right, we'll talk baseball in the aside. Major League Baseball with our friend Matt Snyder, CBSSports.com. Joe O'Donnell will help us out with the Stanley Cup Final coming up here at Game 1 tomorrow night. He joins us at 1:30. Miller and Condon, hour to go on the Iowa Sports Radio Network. NBA Finals, Trent, the winter sports are coming to an end. DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Iowa. 2 teams left, 1 trophy every possession, every fourth quarter swing, every clutch shot. The DraftKings Sportsbook app is now live in Iowa, so whether you're catching tip-off at home of Game 7 or at a bar, you're in on every minute, every game, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Iowa, the finals are in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code KXNO, bet $5 and get $200 in rewards guaranteed. That's code KXNO in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF. 21 plus, Iowa only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in on the action with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Iowa is where the pros play. Enjoy the highest limits, lowest takeouts, and competitive betting menus. Download, fund, and bet from anywhere in Iowa. Circa Sports Iowa. Sports betting the way it should be. Download your new bookie today. Visit circasports.com. Must be over 21 and present in Iowa to bet. Have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly. Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Iowa. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so take it personally. Join the Mental Health Coalition in sharing resources, spreading the word, and reflecting on how mental health is personal to you. Because in a world that can feel heavy, uncertain, and overwhelming, mental health isn't someone else's issue. It's yours, it's ours, and it's something we can show up for together. Take it personally and help build a future where everyone feels seen, supported, and empowered. Go to thementalhealthcoalition.org/personally.
After a rough Iowa winter, your roof took a beating. Don't wait for leaks. Get your free inspection and estimate from Wolf Roofing. We'll make sure your home is ready for spring and beyond. Find them online, wolfroofing.net. Wolf Roofing, strong roofs done right.
Maybe you're thinking about franchising your business or purchasing a franchise. There's an experienced and trustworthy franchise lawyer right in your backyard. Don't waste your time or money searching for a lawyer out of state when Rush Niggett is here and ready to help your business.
Hi, I'm Rush. I've specialized in business and franchise law for the past 25 years. I don't just want to be your lawyer. I want your business to succeed as much as you do.
Your business needs Rush. Visit his award-winning blog at rushonbusiness.com. It's good to have Rush on your side.
KXNO AM Des Moines, KXNO FM Ankeny, KKDM HD2 Des Moines. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, sports talk, and podcasts. Guaranteed human. Miller and Condon on 106.3 KXNO is sponsored by TC Sports, LLC.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The NBA is not without its flaws, but one thing the league gets right is competitive balance. After Oklahoma City's Game 7 loss to San Antonio, the league is now set to go 8 consecutive seasons without a repeat champion. Think about the teams over the last couple of years that looked unbeatable. The Nuggets seemed destined to rule the West. The Boston Celtics looked like a team that could repeat. And then OKC, many looked at them as the next great powerhouse. Every year a new contender emerges, and another finds a way to take down the giant. And that's what makes this era of basketball so compelling. Health, depth, chemistry, timing all play a role once the playoffs begin. For all the complaints that fans may have about the NBA, the league has created a system where multiple teams enter each season believing they do have a legitimate chance to win it all, or at least get there. 8 straight years without a repeat champion is proof the NBA's parity is alive and well. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance, scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals. But Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really start to come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that helps you keep what matters most, money. No hassle, just confidence that your coverage is customized with savings in mind. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent. LinkedIn is pretty amazing at helping you grow your small business. They can help you sell, they can help you market, and they can help you hire in one place. They cannot help you be in 3 places at one time, though. And while they can't help you organize your calendar, LinkedIn can help you land more clients so you have a calendar to organize. Grow your small business at LinkedIn. Learn more at linkedin.com/Dan Patrick Show.
Congratulations to KXNO on their silver anniversary and 25 years on the air in Iowa, being the home of sports talk radio.
We're giving you a chance to experience everything Circa has to offer with a trip along with your favorite KXNO personalities.
The next KXNO Silver Ticket Tour will bring you to Las Vegas and Circa for 4 days, 3 nights. Go to KXNO.com to sign up and have a chance to experience Circa with KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
And we hope to see you soon at Circa.
Live from the TNT Landscaping and Nursery Studios, you're listening to 106.3 KXNO. 106.3 KXNO. Ken Miller, Trent Condon. This is Miller and Condon on the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
Hour number 2, Miller and Condon. Welcome back. Iowa Sports Radio Network. If you're listening, Des Moines Sports Station, 106.3 KXNO. Our affiliates throughout the state of Iowa, or anywhere in the iHeart app. Glad you are with us. We've got another, almost an hour to go off the bench coming up at that time. Sean and Lucas from 2 until 5 o'clock. Matt Snyder joins us, talk a little MLB. CBSSports.com is where you can read Matt, his power rankings, baseball coverage, etc. Hello, Matt, Trent, and Ken. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing okay. We turned the calendar from May until June, and now it's starting to get really good because it's all you can no longer say it's too early. It's early. Those days are behind us now, and away we go. So when it comes to the Cubs, the Cardinals series, we'll relive that in just a second. But with the schedule that awaits them, with essentially 3 against the A's, and then I think it's like 15 games or whatever it is against either the Giants or the Rockies, home and home series with both of them. This sure feels like the time where if the Cubs are the team that most thought they were leaving spring training, that they better, get their heads out of the you-know-whats and start putting some in the win column.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the starting pitching needs to be better. There are a few guys in the bullpen who need to be better. Phil Matan on that list. Offensively, they're getting guys on base, but they're leaving guys on. they have left on, I believe it was 488 guys, and the Pirates are in second place at 460. The league average is around 405. The Cubs leave an unbelievable number of runners on. And if anybody was watching last night, I thought late in the game was a perfect example when you got Conforto doubled, runners on second and third, one out. Looks like you got them on the ropes a little bit. It was 5-1. So, a single cuts it to 5-3. Now we've got a game. And Dansby Swanson strikes out. And then then there was, I believe, a pop-up to end the inning. That's just the way things have gone for most of the season. Ever since at least the winning 20 out of 23, the Cubs have been one of the worst teams in baseball since then. But as you pointed out, with this upcoming schedule, that's when you got to feast.
Yep, no doubt.
3 years, $91 million left on the contract for Dansby Swanson. This is what he did for a full month. Batted 151.
Horrible.
An on-base percentage of 233.
Oh, my God.
Slugging 215. People love OPS. Well, when your OPS is in the 400s, there's guys that could do that on the opposite side of the plate in Major League Baseball. 24 strikeouts, 1K, 4 RBI for the month, and 93 at-bats. But there's nothing you can do.
And it's how much? 90-something million?
I think 3 years, 91 left, if memory serves. Does that sound right, Matt?
God.
Yes, yeah. And he's so good defensively. He's going to help the pitchers. So you kind of feel like you have to – I feel like 3 weeks ago, people were having a similar discussion about Pete Crow-Armstrong. Like, oh, he's so bad offensively, but he's so good defensively, you have to leave him in. It's like, at least with Pete, there's hope because we've seen him go 30-30. He's only 24 years old. He's still getting a feel for how he's going to deal with the strike zone. Dansby Swanson's 32 years old. This is it. There isn't really much upside left there offensively. So it's, I think you just have to view him at this point as you're going to put him in the 9-hole. Any offense you get is a bonus, and he's just going to be a glove-only guy.
It's like Ron Karkovice behind the plate for the White Sox back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Who was
so way back.
I mean, he was a great defense. Remember, year after year, and you look at the back of his baseball card, because that's what I was doing back then. Like, this guy's batting 212. How can this guy still be a major leaguer? I know baseball's changed and evolved, but boy, just looking at the Swansby numbers, the Dansby Swanson numbers again last night. I'm sorry, that would just bother me. Sorry, Ken.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, as and to your point, Matt, first inning, runners on first and second, nobody out, a chance to put a crooked number on the board to get things going.
Yep.
And nothing. So what did you learn about the Cardinals this week, watching them take 2 of 3 from the – it was a fun series. I mean, Fox on Saturday night, NBC/Peacock last night, fun series for that rivalry. What did you learn about the Redbirds, Matt?
They're going to hang around on the periphery of contention. I think that they've got some workable pieces in the rotation, like McGreevy, Liberatore, as we saw last night. The offense is going to be, pretty good at times. It's going to be inconsistent, but when you've got Jordan Walker looking like a centerpiece, and the upside of J.J. Weatherholt there, Burleson's having a good year, Herrera's having a good year. They've got some pieces to work with. I still think they're short of being a playoff team, but I don't think they're going to fall apart or anything like that. I think even if they end up in last place, as we've said many times, that they look like maybe they will end up in last, they would be the best last place team. But I don't know. I don't know if they're necessarily ticketed for last. They might end up ahead of the Reds or the Cubs or Pirates.
So as we look at the top of the division with the Brew Crew, and I just asked Ken flippantly earlier, is Mizraski's arm going to fall off? What he was doing again in his last start, he's throwing 103. He had his first 20 pitches, all 4-seam fastballs, all over 100 miles an hour. We don't see that in baseball. Not just the velocity, but no off speed. I'm just throwing gas, and you're not going to catch up against Yordan Alvarez. It's incredible. We also know the violent nature of that. He slipped in one of his pitches yesterday. If this is something where, can you keep up at this level and keep up without your arm falling off?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm iffy on that. It's interesting. Like, sometimes you try to judge on body type and the way they throw. And for years I thought, oh man, Chris Sale's going to fall apart because he's so frail and he throws so hard. And he actually lasted a long time before he had to get Tommy John surgery. And then the flip side, I always go back to my post-college years when Mark Pryor came up. It was all, he's going to be as injury-proof as anybody because his mechanics are so fluid. He's built like a brick house, and then he had nothing but injuries derail his career. So if you compared him to Paul Skeens, for example, and this is where I was going with that previous thought, is you look at how much of a sturdy body type Skeens looks like, and you think, oh, he's never going to get hurt. And then you look at Mizorowski and you see this spindly, almost Chris Sale-like physique, and you're like, oh man, there's no way he can throw that hard and not get hurt. But hey, sometimes you never know. Mother Nature's a mad scientist.
That's for certain. Is it just a matter of time before the Yankees run down the Rays?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I think they're starting to put things together right now. The Rays were playing over their heads, and now we're starting to see them give it back a little bit, and they're starting to kind of regress. The Yankees are a much more talented team, and hey, look at Garrett Cole last week. His second start back from Tommy John surgery with 10 strikeouts. Cam Schlittler's been amazing. If they get Max Fried back anytime soon, you're looking at a possibility of 3 aces there. And offensively, other than Ben Rice, it's not like anybody's been really playing way over their heads or anything like that. They're a group with a lot of talent, a lot of firepower, and some of it even untapped, other than third inning yesterday when they scored 13 runs.
Unbelievable.
And 0 the rest of the game, by the way.
It was wild, yeah. And the hits went away, too. So.
This leads to something I saw. One of our great listeners, Ben, sent this along to me last week and talking about the Tampa Bay Rays' newest analytical strategy for breaking baseball again. Everybody's about launch angle, right? Everybody's about hitting the ball in the air. And now suddenly the Rays have gone the other direction. We're going to find guys that hit it into the ground. It's just these little things that this organization does. Everybody's going one way. We have to find a way to go another. And it's obviously working for them again this season.
You can take it a few steps further even. Like, they do have some power, but, for a long time after the on-base percentage craze, took over, and then OPS, and a lot of people kind of said, oh, we ignore batting average. They're one of the best teams in the league at batting average. Mm-hmm. They don't hit for a ton of power. They don't take a ton of walks, but they don't strike out much either. So it was like, it's continually zigging when everybody else zags. Mm-hmm. So they're saying, okay, now let's find guys on the cheap who just hit for average. And, it'll work for a little bit whenever you find an avenue, and part of that is to be cost effective, right? Because they don't spend a ton on payroll. So they need to find ways to get guys on the cheap and find a way to maximize their production within their budget.
Well, we talked about the Cubs having a very fortunate schedule coming up. Meanwhile, the team on the south side, who's a remarkable season for the White Sox, truly is. They get 3 with Minnesota, then 3 at Baltimore, home to Atlanta for 3. Here come the Dodgers for 3, on the road to New York for 3.
This does look
right. A little daunting for this White Sox team.
Yeah, it looks rough. It's interesting. They've been really, really good for about 6 weeks. They started 6-13. Yeah, they're 26-14 since then. Bad timing with that upcoming schedule now with Murakami hurt. That is a big thing to try to overcome in that lineup, because a lot of their offensive production revolves around the power in the middle with Colson Montgomery, Miguel Vargas, and Murakami. But Murakami being hurt, that's a tough blow, especially, as you said, with that schedule coming up. I think they can kind of hold their own through it. Maybe they're playing a little over their heads for winning 26 of their last 40. But I think they're feisty. They're a feisty bunch. It'll be fun to watch. Sorry, Trent, but after this Twin series, the tough upcoming stretch.
No, look, I'm locked and loaded tonight. Sandin against Joe Ryan. That's a pretty good matchup.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that will be.
This White Sox team, I didn't think it would even last to this point. All right, good start, nice start. It fall apart, and they just keep going out there. The young guys are getting a little bit more confident, but injury concerns start to pop up there. When you look at their minor league system, do you know offhand, Matt, if they have guys that are ready to go? If they got an injury slump, a couple guys go down, do they have depth like at the AAA level that can step in and at least keep the ship afloat?
We've got an outfielder named Braden Montgomery in AAA. Other than that, not a ton of guys close on the position player side. Maybe, there's a William Bergola Jr. in AAA, shortstop, second baseman, but not a ton in the upper levels of the minors. So we're looking at pretty much what you see is what you get.
I was anxious to see the Dodgers and the Phillies match up this weekend because the Dodgers, we found out last year, they do indeed have that switch. And since they lost a series to the Braves, they've won series. Well, I'm not right. I'm not even going to throw the Angels in there, but they took a series from the Padres. They went on the road and took a series from the Brewers. We both like that team. They took a series from the Phillies. We think the Phillies are very much alive, if nothing else, in the wild card in the National League. So are the Dodgers back to being, any fears you had about the Dodgers when they need to turn it on, they can still do it? Is that kind of how we see this team?
Absolutely. They're 14-3 in their last 17 games with a +70 run differential. So again, every once in a while they just flip that switch. So if you're anybody else in baseball, you just hope that switch doesn't get flipped in October. Anybody can be vulnerable in October. And we've talked about this before. They had 111 wins in the 2022 season and lost in 4 games in the NLDS to the Padres. So it's possible to happen. But the thing is, they're not even remotely healthy in the rotation. They've got Blake Snell, Tyler Glass now are hurt. So they're getting great work from Justin Robleski. Shohei Ohtani looks like a Cy Young winner. Yamamoto's doing Yamamoto things, but like Roki Sasaki is kind of like getting things clicked in there and cutting down on the walks. So eventually they'll get Snell and Glass now back, and they'll have about 9 good starting pitchers. So yeah.
So report from earlier today, Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic, that the growing understanding inside baseball is the Tigers will trade Tariq Skubal before the deadline. Do you know offhand, I want to ask you too, Ken, they played 25 games since Skubal's injury. Take a guess what the record is in these 25 games since he went down.
They've won 8.
That would kind of be the same thought.
Less.
Half of that.
Yeah.
Really?
They're 4-21 since Skubal went down. I understand. He only pitches once every 5 days, though. Right. This team was supposed to be coast into the division title. Can they take another step? Disappointment of the playoffs last year. Skubal, what kind of haul is it? And not just Skubal, how has everything else gone so bad for the Tigers?
Offensively, just pretty bad. They're hitting .229 as a team, only .312 on base percentage. They have, Riley Green can only do so much on his own. Kevin McGonigal's been good as a rookie, but like Torkelson should have been a lot better than this by now. The Colt Keith development there should be a little bit more power by now. So they're missing some things offensively. And then the rotation is just so thin because Jack Flaherty has completely fallen apart. He's awful. Casey Mize is hurt. Skubal's hurt. Justin Verlander's been hurt, and they were counting on him for depth. Jackson Jobe went down last year with a Tommy John surgery. He's still not back. So you're looking at Framber Valdez and Kiter Montero to try to carry the load there. And Montero's not cut out for that. And Valdez is not very good right now, continuing his bad second half last year. And it seems like he has attitude problems as well. So all kinds of problems for this team. In terms of a return for Skubal, 3 prospects, maybe like 1 upper top prospect and then 2 decent ones, something like that, because it's only a rental.
Right.
You're not going to completely knock somebody over for 2.5 months of regular season, and then hopefully whoever it is that gets them deep into the playoffs, you're not going to go crazy with that, but they'll get a decent haul. Couple of good prospects.
Just don't go to the Dodgers. They don't need him. I know the Cubs were rumored, but why would the Cubs make the move? I'm not even sure they're going to make the playoffs at this point, the way this team is going. Skubal will, beg your pardon, Verlander will be here tomorrow night in Des Moines, pitching apparently in his comeback, or Toledo's in town to take on the I-Cubs. So we may see Verlander in the capital city of Iowa tomorrow as he makes his comeback. We'll see if that goes. I want to just real quick, Atlanta still holding serve out in the National League East. Any threat, anything you're seeing that this team might be starting to come alive? We just saw the Phillies get cooled off by the Dodgers. I don't want to say they're home free, but they're almost home free, and it's only the 1st of June.
Almost, yeah, because like the Nationals are in second place, 9 back. I think it's great that they have a winning record right now and they're showing such fight, but I don't believe in them long term. And then the Phillies, they just dug themselves too big of a hole. 9.5 games out. By no means is 9.5 games not workable for anybody. I mean, we just saw the Guardians come back from 15.5 last year, and that was in July. So obviously there's enough time. I just don't think that the Phillies are going to be more than 9.5 games better than the Braves the rest of this season. They're, even if you think like from here on out the Phillies will be better, well, how much better? Like 3 or 4 games? Certainly not 10. So, yeah, I think you don't want to say it's over, but it seems pretty well in hand for the Braves. And, hey, just piggybacking off our last discussion, remember, I like that landing spot, the Braves for Tarek Skubal.
Okay.
That would be a decent landing spot there.
I'm in.
It's kind of weird, and maybe it's age. Matt, you and I are the same age. We've talked about this in the past, but when Orel Hershiser was going through his scoreless streak, it felt like one of the biggest things in the world of sport.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Here's Christopher Sanchez. I mean, you talk about a blip on the radar. In baseball circles, yes, but just on the national scene, as he gets closer and closer, and what's he up to? 44 2/3, something like that now.
That. Yeah.
The Hershiser thing.
When was the Hershiser thing?
88, 89?
No, what part of the calendar? I mean, was it
towards the end of the season?
So
I think.
So was baseball? Was the NBA kind of
done? Maybe that's a part of it.
I'm just wondering because you're right. It should be getting more attention.
I think that we're so oversaturated with everything now on the with how many screens and social media and how available everything is. Everything just felt different then. Like we turned on SportsCenter and Baseball Tonight every single day, and then that's all they were talking about when that was going on. Because I still remember being a kid in school and tuning in to watch like Peter Gammons talk about it on Baseball Tonight.
That was such a good show. Such a good show.
We don't really have that now. Like we're oversaturated with stuff to talk about all the time. Sometimes less is more. Maybe it was easier to just talk about the huge topic when you just had one show a day or whatever it was. But yeah, I definitely think that this is an incredible streak. And he'd been not that great before the streak and just all of a sudden got things locked back in. Cy Young runner-up last year, I believe. It's a big, big story. You know what? I'll do my part and I'll start writing about it.
Attaboy.
Yes, absolutely. So it was 1988. It was also, it culminated through the end of the season. So it started August 30th and went all the way to the end of the year.
Okay, into the playoffs.
I'm sure that's probably why the buildup also
was And then they
was
won the World Series.
Yes.
So there was like more to go with it.
So I think that's kind of the reasoning behind it. And it's just memories of an 8-year-old here on Miller and Condon with Matt Snyder on Mondays, who was also 8 at the time.
Indeed. Good stuff, Matt Snyder. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it as always. And hopefully your schedule's free so you can talk with me because Trent's off next Monday. He's going to
I'll be coming home from Wrigley.
Sunday night baseball.
Nice. Cubs and Giants.
All
so yes, I'll be
Cubs
listening
and
to
Cards, isn't it?
No.
Or is that 2 weeks?
Yeah,
2 weeks.
Cubs Giants 7:30.
Just don't boo PCA. He's
Oh,
not as bad as you think he is.
We got something waiting for him in the bleachers. You might see me on Sunday Night Baseball.
I'll talk to you Monday, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Matt Snyder, CBSSports.com. Yeah, Cubs Cards is 2 weeks. So Sunday Night Baseball's in Wrigley back-to-back weeks by the sound of things.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I mistaken here? Was baseball tonight, Monday through Friday, 52 weeks a year?
Pretty close.
It had to be, right?
Yes, absolutely.
God, I love that show.
9:00.
Mm-hmm.
Flip it on.
Yeah.
All the highlights. It went from a half hour to an hour.
It would precede Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah. Must watch every single night.
It was.
Certainly for me in the 90s.
Yeah. ESPN was at its peak and its pinnacle at that time with the talent that they had there. Anyways, 125 or thereabouts. Let's talk puck next. It's the Stanley Cup Final. The teams have been set. It's Vegas. It's the Hurricane. And Joe O'Donnell's going to join us.
Our weekly conversations with Matt Snyder brought to you by Unjuiced.bet. If you are looking for a new avenue, maybe a little bit of help in your betting, Unjuiced can help you with just that, like it has helped me.
And Lucas.
Absolutely. Lucas has been on fire here recently. I, over the last week, have continued to add to my portfolio. How about this?
Okay.
25-15.
Sign for that.
8-3 on money lines, 16-11 on props, 1-1 in totals, a return on investment of 24.87%.
Jeez.
And all I'm using with all these props is going on Unjuiced.bet, jumping on there, looking at the way that they have. I like betting 2 things that I found. Strikeout totals for starting pitching. I've been on that now for a couple of years. but I'm just usually blind guessing. This tells me actually analytically what is a good bet, what is a good price. This sports book that I have, this one has it. This is where you want to go. And also it grades them. I've also been doing a lot of total bases, over under 1.5 total
For a
bases.
player, yeah.
Yep, for an individual player. That's what I've been doing. It's worked out for me. Right now you can get a week free on juice.bet. Use the promo code KXNO. You can also get 30% off yours. And there are sites similar to Unjuiced that do this. Their price point, though, is $500. Not the case here. $70 a month. And if you're somebody looking to make an edge, make a profit, this is something that is going to help you. Arbitrage betting. Very simply, you got Sportsbook A, Sportsbook B. One side has it this way.
Meet in the middle.
Yeah, meet in the middle, and you just scoop up that middle profit. Even if you're betting a couple of bucks, you are going to guarantee yourself a profit, and they let you know each side. You put in your sports books that you have. Say you have Circa, DraftKings, BetMGM. All right. You just have those three in there, and it'll tell you if you have an arbitrage opportunity, which one has the best price, and you can do it and become a better like I am with the code KXNO at unjuice.bet.
Good stuff. Speaking of MGM, they are, we told you last week, Caesars is being purchased for $17 billion. MGM is now apparently going to be sold for $18 billion. MGM has the entire west side of the strip. Mandalay, Luxor, I'm going in order from the south side, right? Mandalay, Luxor, New York, Cosmo, Aria, Bellagio. They're all side by side. Oh, there's what's it, Vidara, but that's not a casino, is it, or is it Vidara?
I don't
think
know
it
that
is.
one. I don't know that one.
Anyways, $18 billion. What's going on here? Why
a lot of consolidation?
There's a ton of I mean, it's bad for us, but why are these properties, these mega properties, these mega companies, all being sold?
It's a great question, and I do not
stay away from downtown.
Yeah, leave
one
them
in particular.
alone. Leave them alone. They're doing things right.
Yes, they are.
My parents, in fact, were at Stadium Swim yesterday.
Were they really?
Yes, they were.
What was the temperature?
It was hot.
How long did they stay?
A few hours.
Did they?
Yep. They had a good time, though. They were out there with my aunt and uncle also, so had another couple, and I got them hooked up with the day bed for the day.
Good
so
for you.
They sounded like they had a hot but very fun time out there.
Oh, man. And we'll be out there in August. Speaking of hot.
Hop in the pool.
Miller and Condon back with Joe O. Cool things off on the ice. Stanley Cup Final talk next. It's the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
Get off the bench and into the game with Sean Roberts and Lucas Strain. Tune in weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on 106.3 KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
The world's largest sports book in Las Vegas is available right at your fingertips in Iowa. Trent Condon here for Circa Sports. The Circa Sports Iowa app is sports betting the way it should be. Bet anywhere in Iowa and experience high betting limits, tight money line splits, and exceptional customer service. Download your new bookie today. Visit circasports.com and start betting like a pro from anywhere in Iowa. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
It happens only once a year in Las Vegas.
Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
is back. One stage, 2 nights.
Are you ready? Featuring the biggest names in music. Live, loud, and always full of surprises.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Hear it live on iHeartRadio and streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Listen for the reveal of our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Tomorrow morning at 7.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
In Des Moines, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with over 5,000 Chase branches nationwide, we're right beside you, Des Moines. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
You've heard me rave about Kitchen Refresh. They updated our kitchen in just a few days for a fraction of the cost of the custom cabinets that I was pricing out with no demo. That's why Kitchen Refresh has installed over 500 kitchens. You can still use your space while they work. You don't even have to empty cabinets. Your kitchen, bath, bar, or laundry room will get a completely new look with lightning fast speed without sacrificing quality. Go to kitchenrefreshiowa.com for your free in-home consultation. Tell them Heather said they could help.
It's the French Open, where every point is a battle on clay. I'd know. I competed there for decades. Join me, Renee Stubbs, on the Renee Stubbs Tennis Podcast for no-nonsense breakdowns of the biggest matches, the toughest players, and the moments that define Roland Garros.
Listen, Elena Rybakina is arguably the best player in the world right now, and I actually can win on any surface.
Search the Renee Stubbs Tennis Podcast on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
Presented by Capital One, founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports.
More with Miller and Condon in 60 seconds, right here on 106.3 KXNO.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Miller and Condon on 106.3 KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
All right, let's get Joe O'Donnell in here. Take it, Joe. How are you? The voice of the radio voice of the Minnesota Wild. He joins us. Sing along with us, Joe O'Donnell. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me as always.
No, good to talk to you. Let's put
and you don't want me singing.
No,
You definitely
nor
don't want
me.
Singing, Kenny.
I was hoping you'd still be working, Joe. I really thought that there was a chance you would be. I was stunned that the Avs went out the way that they did. I thought that the two best teams I'd seen the way they were going were the Wild and the Avs. And as we know, the Avs got by the Wild. So let's just kind of put a bow on that one. What do you think went wrong from Minnesota's perspective?
I mean, the easiest thing to do is point to the key injuries, right? And I think we saw that then when Colorado played Vegas. Like, you miss a couple of top players even for a game or half a game or multiple games, and it just tests your depth. And when you're getting to that time of year, you know, it's way harder. Like, you lose a guy in November, you can get by for 5 or 6 games. You lose him in May, playing just an elite team in a best of 7, like the Wild were against the Avs, it's hard. You know, not an excuse. It's reality. Everybody goes through it, but certainly that was a big reason why. I think the other thing too, Kenny, is just like that turnaround from the end of the Dallas series into the Colorado series seemed like it took the Wild, you know, a handful of periods to adjust to a way different Colorado team. Again, not an excuse, probably reality, but a learning lesson for them. For a group that hadn't been out of the first round in a while, like, they weren't satisfied with winning the first round. I know that. It was a business-like approach, but I just think it took them a little bit to really dive into what Colorado did differently than Dallas and adjust to it. And then I think the final thing is going to be that game 4. You know, I had a chance to chat at length with Bill Guerin. Well, maybe not at length, but after we did a little podcast together recently, and talking to him during that time, and then afterwards, like, Game 4 was one that got away from Minnesota. They had made the series 2-1 with a resounding Game 3. It went at home. That Game 4, that wasn't their best. Nobody thought it was, but there they were in the third period, tied 1-1, then tied 2-2, and minutes later, it's 3-2 Colorado, and they eventually win that game. So missed opportunities, disappointment a couple times in that series. Again, I think learning lessons that this group will grow from. They took a step, and then next year, obviously, there's no guarantee you get in the playoffs, number one, but if you do, you're looking to get to the conference finals next time around. That's got to be the next step in progression for this group.
Retooling in the off season. What does it look like? Kind of what's the off season salary cap situation? Fill us into what this off season for us casuals is going to look like.
Yeah. So there's only 13 skaters under contract, and you're dressing 18 and then your 2 goalies every night. So they have some guys they've got to get back under contract. They got to make, determinations on what some of those deals look like. They do have a bunch of free agents, some that are longer in the tooth. So I think it'll be a more interesting summer just because of all the uncertainty there. And I think there'll be some moving via trade, whether that's in this summer or into next season. Like we saw the Quinn Hughes move in the middle of December last year. What's Bill Guerin's next swing for a number one center, for another superstar player to kind of round out this group? So there's a couple restricted free agents that I think will get done, like Damon Hunt. I'd be shocked if they don't bring Bobby Brink back on a reasonable deal, and let him slot in maybe as your third line or maybe your 13th forward, like kind of that extra guy when you're deep and you're healthy and everybody's rolling. Damon Hunt proves he can play, in the NHL more than he has. So I think he'll come back and fill out sort of the 6-pair defenseman, maybe 5-6, somewhere in there. And then you got Matt Zuccarello, who has been excellent. His contract's up. Is it a 1-year deal? Is it a 2-year deal? I don't think he'll go play anywhere else, and he doesn't want to retire. So I think that should get done. And then Vladimir Tarasenko and Marcus Johansson are both up. Johansson played last year on basically a league minimum deal. He's making less than $1 million and had 49 points. That was a steal. Like you won't get him back at that, but I don't think he needs to break the bank if you decide to bring him back. And Tarasenko had sort of a reclamation project almost, and he had a great year. I think one of those 2 guys will be back, if I had to guess. I don't think both will be back, but if you re-sign Zuccarello, somewhat team-friendly year or 2, and you either bring back Tarasenko or Johansson, then from there you're going to have a little bit of cap space, and you have some bottom 6 guys to maybe round out your roster. The big question in free agency, Trent, is Michael McCarron. They got him at the trade deadline.
Have to keep him.
He outperformed expectations, and that was good and bad. It was good because it helped the Wild, but it drove up his price.
Right.
I'd be shocked if he doesn't get a few offers that might even double what the Wild are willing to offer, and then it's up to McCarron. You want to go somewhere where he played well and he's comfortable, a chance to win the Cup, or does he want a 4-year deal at $4 million a year from somebody else and he's financially set for life? So that's a decision the player and the agent will have to make.
No, he was terrific. He's a tough SOB, and he fits in well. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about the Canes and LV or VGK. I have no idea, Joe. I truly don't. The Hurricane, to me, don't look like a team that's built for the playoffs, yet there they are. I'll give you the fact that the road hasn't been the most difficult. Tortorella has turned this Vegas franchise completely around. I don't know who's going to win, Joe. I'm kind of glad that I don't have an opinion. Just let it play out in front of me. But who do you like? Do you have a feel for this series at all?
So I don't. To your point, like, I don't know that there's a clear-cut favorite, but I will push back a little bit on saying, like, Carolina not built for the playoffs. They always seem to have a great regular season and get to the conference final, and then they usually don't perform. This year's Hurricanes team feels a little bit different. They've got experience. They are battle-tested. They haven't played that many games, which should benefit them now as you get to the 4th and final round. They have a little bit of sneaky skill with Stan Coven and Aho, Nikolai Ehlers, like guys that can beat you off the rush. But they are like a well-oiled machine. Similar to how Vegas has kind of risen up and taken their game to the next level, Carolina's been at this level pretty much all year. They are the hardest team to play against, you could argue. Now Vegas has kind of stepped into that equation with the way they played recently. But Carolina doesn't give up anything. They routinely, over the last 4 or 5 years, you look across the regular season, they give it the fewest shots every year pretty much. And if not, they're second in that category per game. Like, they don't give up squat. They're going to play the same way. They're not going to be phased. And I think that's the one thing both these teams have in common is sort of that in the face of adversity, they don't change their game. And that's what you want. So I don't know it's going to be the most exciting Stanley Cup final, which disappoints me from a national perspective or ratings perspective. Like, I don't know it's going to be high flying, but if you like tight checking, like if you're a student of the game, this is a great series because you're going to see two teams. It's going to be a chess match out there. It's going to be who blinks first. And I think it has the potential to be a really long series. I do.
I'm all for it. I see a lot of low scoring games too, to your point, Joe.
Question I have is if this goes the other way and it's not a long series and we see the Hurricanes sweep or win in 5, say they win in 5. That means they went 16-2 during the playoffs. Where do they kind of fit then in the pantheon, at least of recent champions, if they can put together that run? I know the road wasn't overly daunting, kind of in comparison, maybe as some past teams, but if they do something like that and win in 5 against a Vegas team that just swept Colorado, where does Carolina kind of rank in your mind?
It's a great question, Trent. I don't know they'll get the recognition they deserve.
Yeah.
Because they got a 36-year-old goaltender in Freddie Anderson who, if you had asked me before I actually had to Google it the other day, I would have said he's 40 plus. Like, he feels like he's been around forever.
Yep.
He can never stay healthy. He's just a great story. Jordan Stahl is playing in the Stanley Cup Final after 15-year hiatus or whatever it was. He's a great story. Rod Brind'Amour captained their team to the Stanley Cup in 2006. 20 years later, he's their head coach, and he's got him back there. Like, there are storylines for both teams. John Tortorella taking over late, the Carter Hart situation, Eichel and Hannafin trying to win gold and a Stanley Cup the same year. Like, there are a lot of storylines, and there's a lot of star power. But I don't know that if Carolina wins this series quickly, we'll be going, oh my gosh, this is one of the best teams in the last 10, 15, 20 years, even though, to your point, they would have lost just 2 or 3 games the whole playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. The Vegas situation, though, like, they're in the Stanley Cup Final for the 3rd time in 9 years as a franchise.
Pisses me off.
That it should, but it also, you got to respect what they've done because they've done it with different coaches and different goaltenders and a different core group. I think there's only 3 guys left from their inaugural team. So both teams have very interesting storylines. Both teams have some star power, but not like you're, walk on the street and see that guy and go, oh my gosh, that's Jack Eichel. Like, I don't think he gets that a lot. So it's interesting. It's kind of where the NHL's always been. We're trying to get more recognition for guys, top end guys on some teams. But again, I think from a checking standpoint, from a hard-nosed work ethic standpoint, this is going to be a great series. 2 teams are very kind of evenly matched, and I'll be very interested to see whose style play prevails.
Go 7 games. They've got the right network as far as trying to sell the story in ESPN. I'm just going to miss the hell out of the TNT broadcasts. They're so good. And I'm a McDonough fan, and I'm a Ferraro fan. But, man, TNT just takes it to another level. Joe, thanks for doing this, brother. Appreciate what you've done for us, over the years. If this thing goes on, goes long, we'll impose on you again as we get to the precious final couple of games of the regular season. Joe, enjoy it. Thanks for what you do, and we'll talk down the road. Thank you, Joe O'Donnell.
Yeah, of course, guys. Anytime, and I hope everybody in Des Moines doing well. All the Iowa Wild fans, always a pleasure to jump on your airwaves. So call anytime.
Good, thanks. Appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye. Right. Joe O'Donnell, voice of the Minnesota Wild, formerly of the Iowa Wild, and an all-around good dude.
Absolutely. Yep. So you're hopeful for it being long, but you don't have a feel.
The only feel I have in this, if I had to have one, I think it's going to be a whole bushel of low-scoring games. 2-1s, 3-1s, maybe a 3-2 in overtime type of thing. I don't see anybody filling the net. Now, tune in Wednesday, we're talking about 7-6 games. But I think these are low-scoring games. Carolina clogs it up. They're really good. They're really good.
Series price for me
is going to be what?
I think
Carolina in 5.5 games. Is that what you got?
No, just to win the series.
Okay.
Is the price good enough on the Golden Knights to win this thing that you can say, yeah, jump aboard with that?
Do you have a strong lead in the NBA that you can put them together?
No, not strong. I just don't think I'm going to have much with the Stanley Cup. I don't know these teams either.
Yeah.
And that's a part. And when we talk about people that jump in April, like I do, and I know I'm not alone, it's going to be hard. I know I'll flip it on.
It's going to get killed ratings-wise.
Yeah, and if there's a good baseball game,
I
don't know how much I'm going to be there. I'm just not invested in these teams. Now we're in Vegas. I will be a little bit to the people that we know and the sitting in the seats that we know. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit different. But outside of that, it's hard. I love sport. I love competition.
Sexiest series.
Yeah, and it's a crazy thing for me though, because opposite sports. I talk about this with you all the time with like tennis, and you just will not get into it.
No,
it could be there's nothing going on.
This Sharapova is something. My God.
Year after year after year, though, because you love competition.
Yeah.
Or the College World Series, softball, and the NCAA baseball tournament happening now. You haven't watched a pitch, have you?
I have not.
And
well,
I love
you know
it.
what? It's on in the background here today, so I may watch
Right.
it. But no, to your point, no, I'm not going out of my way to watch it.
And I love that part of it. And that's the part, how much you love competition, that it always befuddles me.
Because I can find other competition. I can find a baseball game or a
That's
hockey
true.
game or an NBA game.
And you're just, you know the guys, you know the teams.
Yeah, it's way down my list.
Yeah.
Trent's plays of the day, they're coming up next. Circus Sports sponsor those. Anxious to hear those prop bets that I know are coming because you were on a roll. Let's say 25%. My gosh.
Yeah, that's return on investment for the last week, and just keep stacking them up. Don't have to make a lot, just making a profit, because I've had a lot of months in the red before that, starting in November, that downturn, November, December,
bad.
January.
It was bad.
February. Yeah. Finally started to turn around a little bit, but my goodness, thank God for Unjuice, because they are helping me in a big time way.
Indeed they are. Miller and Condon back with Trent's plays of the day. It's the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
This June, the legends of golf